Hey, it's staying at Lundtoft again. Today I'm working on a Massey Harris 33. Bought it at an auction a year ago or so. Had it started up this spring, ran great, and all of a sudden it just stalled. I'm thinking that it's fuel problem, so I checked the fuel, and when my advanced gas gauge touched the bottom of the tank, I could feel that it was full of stuff. So I figured I'd try a magnet first and see if it's magnetic. So, because I really don't want to have to take the tank off, but let's get at it. So the tractor I'm working on is Archie, which is a Massey Harris 33. Got at an auction, like I said. So here's the beast. I'm thinking that filter here is probably plucked solid with all the crud I'm finding in the tank. There are some in the sediment bowl as well, but I'll show you my gas gauge. Here is a SVTA advanced gas gauge. It works perfect for this. And then I decided to try with this magnet to see, well, what is it I have in the bottom of the tank, and it turns out that it's magnetic. So I'm gonna try and see how much I can get out without taking the tank off, because I really do not want to take it off. A tractor that's painted nice, and yeah, taking the tank off often scratches a little bit, so at least it does when I do it. But looks like I can fish a fair bit of crud out of here, so we'll try that. And once I have it cleaned out, I'll try and start it up and see where we ended up. The rooster agrees with me, sounds like it. I just wanted to show here when I use both hands, I can feel what I'm doing down in the bottom of the tank, and I can guide it, and I'm able to get a lot more out of the tank. So obviously this tank is getting a bit rusted internally. At some point in time, I'll probably have to look at sealing that tank. Well, I fished enough rust scale out of the tank, thinking that I definitely need to do a treatment of that tank at some point in time to make sure the rust doesn't get any worse. I think I have enough out now, though, that I can go further and see how badly the sediment valve is plucked. I'll start by taking the line off down here and see how much flow I get when I open the valve. The tank is half full, so that's why I'm not just jumping to turn it off. I'd like to avoid having to drain the tank if I can. With that, let's open up here and see how much we get here. This should be a good solid stream here, and I would suggest that sediment valve is pretty plugged. It has to come out. Maybe we'll try and take this filter out first and see if we can. It would be lovely to leave that valve in with all that gas in the tank, but we'll see. So I took this off, and it doesn't look good for the sediment bowl because it's very easy to blow through this. Oh yeah, I don't feel much resistance there, so good thing is I can use that again, I think. Let's see what we get here when we open up. This should be coming out really quick, and it doesn't really come out as quick as I think it should. So we'll go ahead and take that sediment bowl off. What a pain. I had the sediment bowl off and cleaned it, and I tried draining out just without the bowl just to see how much is coming, and it is not enough coming. So that sediment valve has to come out, and that will allow me to flush the tank better. So we're going to drain the fuel into this tank, to this jerry can here, and then we'll see how if there's any crap carried over, then I'll end up disposing of that fuel. But if it's not badly full of stuff, then I'll probably reuse it somewhere. So patience did get the better part of me, I guess. I ended up taking this off and just running a piece of hose to drain it. And yeah, it does appear there's some restriction in this little filter here. So I did have another one here. So I had this laying, so I'll probably be putting that in instead. I'll test it out, see if there's a difference on the two. But there'll definitely be some in this valve body up here. Well, I got the valve out here. I'm going to be taking this apart and just see how much crot is in it. I have a feeling it's pretty plugged. I use compressed air to blow through all the ports here, through here, and then through the piece that goes up in the tank. And there was a lot of crap in there, so I'll put it back together now. I set it in the vise here so I can make sure that this gasket goes in properly here, so that I got a hold of the filter mesh there. When I put it on before, I let the glass turn with the gasket, and I guess that crumbled up the little mesh inside. So I better not do that this time. We'll get this put back together here. This piece goes on here. Come on, there you go. And then turn that down here, lock it in place. There we go. Well, I'm gonna pack this little guy here until I get the tank cleaned out. I want to get up on the ladder here and then have a look down with a flashlight and see what I can see. I'll definitely be needing to take this tank off and clean it. I don't really have time this time, but I'm going to see if I can get some more with the magnet, and if not, then I'll have to schedule a time where I rip this tank off and get it cleaned out. And I'll probably clean it out with my Hotsy, but I may also be looking at sealing it on the inside with some kind of sealant. So I'm not sure what people usually use for sealing a tank on the inside, but it looks like with the amount of corrosion taking place, then sooner or later my tank is going to have more holes than it needs to have. So Lori came up with the idea of using this little thing, and wow, that is cat's ass. My tank is all of a sudden a lot cleaner than what it was. See if I can get this to work again so you can see what that little vacuum was doing. I think you can see a little bit. I mean, there's still lots of stuff in there, but not very much of it is loose anymore. So I'll give it a go more with that little vacuum. But that might be the... I think I still need to steam out the tank and seal it with some kind of sealant or paint or whatever the heck people use. By all means, comment on the video if you know what to use. Well, got the tank vacuumed out, and now I put the clean sediment valve back in. So we'll try and I got some gas in it as well. So let's open up and see what happens here. I don't know if I got enough in the tank. I think I do, but we'll see how it runs. I did not change out the filter here yet because I wanted to see how it works. If it doesn't flow nice, then I'll change it out. Yeah, I'm a bit cheap, I guess, hey. But let's see how it goes. There we go. It seems a bit slow. I'm just going to try a couple of things here. Hang on, guys. Yeah, for what it's worth, we're going to change this out. No more talk. Changing out. Well, as it often goes, you fix one problem. So I got flow from the tank to the carburetor. But I'm realizing this button here, the start button, is not very good. It gets quite hot when I try to start it. So I am going to change that out and get rid of that problem too. Okay, so I got bolts off here that secures the instrument panel and to get to the other side of this button. And as soon as I get on the other side, I see part of my problem. That's been hot, and those two nuts in there are not tight. So we got bad connections there, which is causing the heat. And the other thing I'm realizing after I got it apart and took the batteries off is that a lot of the insulation is missing on the wires. So somehow in here, the sensor for the temperature was shorting out with the cable that goes down to the starter, which might explain why it was turning slower than normally, even with 6 volts. So there's a few things I need to look after here and get fixed. Well, it's another day, and the weather certainly changed. Turns out I got a little bit of a leak in my roof in here because it's dripping down here. Anyways, I'm still working on trying to figure out where the wires are arcing out. So I will be fixing up these cables and get it reinstalled, and hopefully get to a point where you can start this thing without having smoke coming everywhere. So I replaced the old cable here. I got a new one run in, coming up here and here. So before I put this together now, I like to put some of this dielectric grease on, just to help with the connections. Okay, so I got the cables replaced. The studs or bolt ends for securing the button that you used to start with, it looks to me that they're sticking a little bit further through than they probably need to. I could have cut them off, but the easier part was to take a piece of fuel line, stick on the end, so that any cables that should or could move around is not going to shorten out on those. I noticed that the old cable may have been rubbing on one of those, and that might have been a contributing factor for what it was happening here. But let's see how it works now. Instrument panel is back on. Now comes moment of truth. We'll give a bit of the dielectric grease on the battery posts, and then get them hooked up. Got last terminal on now. Now we should have power on it. So let's see how she does. She's gonna want a little bit of choke, I think. See if I can do this with the amount of fingers I have. She might need a bit of throttle too. pretty good now. So the whole thing started with a tank issue. A tank that was full of rust scale, plugging off the sediment valve. That's good enough. We'll shut off the fuel. Don't know if we can fully trust that carburetor to shut off, but it's definitely a good habit to be in. Well, with that, we will we'll stop. Thanks for this time.